Some professions continue to be riskier than others, despite the unpleasant but typical fact that workplace accidents happen frequently. It's not unusual for anyone to get hurt while working. However, some people experience little to no harm, while others take a daily risk since their line of work is more dangerous than others in the world. When picking a professional path, many people are interested in learning which jobs are the riskiest. Are you curious to know the professions that fall under one of the most dangerous jobs in the world? Please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and also click on the bell notification icon for more informative videos like this. The top 10 most dangerous jobs in the world. Number 10. Skyscraper window cleaner. Skyscrapers, high-rises, and other sizable office buildings all require regular window cleaning as part of routine maintenance, just like on a home. Businesses who rent office space in a high-rise anticipate that their managers and staff will have unobstructed views from their offices as part of what they're paying for. These windows are maintained by people who work outside of a structure frequently hundreds of feet above the ground, dangling over the street below. The worst danger for window washers, though, is undoubtedly falling from a considerable height as a result of a piece of safety equipment that has failed. Despite the fact that the window washers frequently operate hundreds of feet in the air, a fall of 50 to 60 feet is likely to be catastrophic. A worker will almost certainly die if a scaffolding disconnects or breaks, sending them dropping hundreds of feet. There are still risks for window washers even when safety equipment functions as it should. Due to the shape of the city and the way the wind rushes between buildings and down streets, winds at high elevations can get rather fierce. These gusts frequently pose a risk of pulling a window washer off the side of a structure. Number 9. Lumberjacks. Nowadays, with the exception of exceptionally large trees or in steep terrain, the majority of timber harvesting is done by machinery. The days of lumberjacks using two-man saws or felling trees are long gone. Chainsaw work is extremely risky, especially done in difficult or treacherous terrain. However, things go wrong. A skilled logger can throw a tree almost like a marksman shoots a rifle. Trees often have weak spots or unseen stress cracks that make them fall sooner than expected and in unexpected locations. When a limb is sliced, it binds up like pulling back at archery bow and immediately and fiercely bounces back. The majority of lumberjack make it through their career until retirement thanks to skill, experience, and a healthy dose of caution. But one slip-up or mishap, particularly while working in remote areas of a forest, might render them incapable of working, or even kill them in an instant. Number 8. Skydiving Instructor. It makes perfect sense for people to frequently inquire about skydiving safety. If you're doing something new that you've never done before, you might want to be aware of the hazards. Skydiving carries some risks just like any other sport. The most dangerous skydiving maneuvers are those using complex moves. When someone with thousands of jumps under their belt does something new or more difficult than they have previously, problems are more likely to arise. One of these tricks include the skydiver purposefully speeding up their descent by abruptly twisting the parachute. The purpose of this maneuver, referred to as swooping, is to accelerate the parachute as it crosses the ground. The skydiver risks suffering damage or maybe dying if they get this incorrectly. Number 7. Aircraft pilots and flight engineers. For the smooth flight that everyone enjoys, aircraft pilots and flight engineers take many actions, from keeping an eye on the fuel usage, cabin pressure, engine performance, and other potential issues that may arise throughout the flight, to altering the captain to any coming risk that might or might not have an impact on the aircraft's performance. Despite not being one of the vocations with the highest rates of fatal accidents, this industry was ranked as the second most dangerous in 2018. Transport accidents are the primary cause of fatal accidents in this line of work. Given that commercial aircrafts are safer, the private aircraft and helicopters are where the job is the most perilous. The rate of fatal injuries in this line of employment is 34.3 per 100,000 workers. Number 6. Astronaut. Work performed by astronauts is tough, possibly hazardous and difficult, because their safety depends on their ability to rely on one another. They cooperate closely as a team. When planning and testing for a space trip, they typically work a 40-hour work week, but as the countdown approaches and activities stepped up, they may work long hours, 7 days a week. Naturally, they put in as many hours as necessary while on a mission to reach their goals. On the International Space Station, long-duration missions can last anywhere between 3 and 6 months. The simulators and trainers might be constricting and uncomfortable during the demanding training session. New trainees may experience air sickness as a result of exercises meant to simulate weightlessness. Number 5. Bodyguard. Bodyguard work is simple to romanticize, especially given that most of what we see on television and in movies exalts the profession. When they aren't defending the president from brutal terrorist attacks, they are defending famous people who, towards the conclusion of the movie, amazingly fall in love with them. There is no disputing that being a bodyguard is one of the hardest and riskiest occupations in the world, even though some of these stories are inspired by true events. No doubt the security of other people is the responsibility of a bodyguard or close protection officer. A bodyguard's job might look interesting, however, the danger of one's life being risked is imminent. Anyone thinking about pursuing a profession in this field needs to think twice to know if it is really worth it. Number 4. Firefighters. Being a firefighter is a noble service career that normal people strongly rely on in times of need. Firefighters are frequently the first on the scene of explosions, natural disasters, wildfires, traffic accidents, and other catastrophes. They don't only rush inside burning structures. Those who execute difficult professions may suffer from physical and mental side effects. Workplace hazards that firefighters must contend with include heat fatigue, burns, and stress on the body and mind. Furthermore, they frequently encounter harmful dangers and environments with high quantities of carbon monoxide. As a result of these risky exposures, this line of employment increases the risk of contracting a variety of illnesses. Number 3. Crane operators. Operators of cranes have a high risk of serious harm. On construction sites, workers are exposed to a variety of risks, but crane operators are practically vulnerable to serious harm. Crane operators who sustain injuries on the job and accident victims frequently deal with pain and suffering, continuously rising medical costs, and reduced income due to missed work. Sometimes they are unable to return to work due to their injuries. In the worst scenarios, a loved one's relatives or friends pass away. Workers' compensation claims may be available for workers hurt in crane accidents. However, although workers' compensation offers assistance depending on the injuries experienced, it frequently falls short of paying for all costs or make up for lost wages. Number 2. Underground mining machine operators. Mining is a hazardous industry by nature, so it makes sense that you would be concerned about the potential danger of your mining profession. Mining is a dangerous industry by nature, with risks ranging from mine collapses to breathing in hazardous particles. The miners who are in charge of running the large mining equipment at work are more likely to die in accidents than the other miners. In this area of work, transportation, interaction with objects and other equipment, and operation of large machines are additional frequent cause of accidents. Here there are 21.6 fatal injuries per 100,000 workers. Number 1. Demolitionist. Although almost all construction-related labor is hazardous, some projects provide additional and particular safety risks that workers need to be made aware of and trained to avoid. Building demolition projects are some of the riskiest types of construction undertakings. There are frequently a lot of unknowns when it comes to demolition operations, including the structural soundness of the structure and the presence of dangerous elements like asbestos and silica. Additionally, employees on the ground may be struck by falling objects or debris from construction equipment used in demolition projects, such as cranes and wrecking balls. In order to effectively perform your job and ultimately provide for your family, it is advised that you take extreme caution when working in any of these fields. Although these are 10 of the most dangerous jobs in the world, they are not the only ones. Rather, they are only 10 of the many risky jobs. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.